Hello everyone, thanks for joining me on StubbleMeetsSteel. So, as most of you know and have seen a bunch of my videos on the Goodfellas Styletto, I really like this razor. And I had also tried the Goodfellas Bayonetta and I found it manageable but a little bit too aggressive for me. And I've been on the search for a stainless steel razor, and as you've seen me test a whole bunch of different stainless steel razors on this channel, I can use a bunch of them, but I just wasn't in love with any of them, to be quite honest with you. I recently tried the Game Changer 84 plate, and I still found that way too mild. And so I've been on the hunt for a stainless steel razor. And one that kind of jumped out to me since I've been on this Goodfellas kick is the Goodfellas Syntesi. It's a stainless steel razor that they offer, and there wasn't really all that much information out there, or videos for that matter, as how aggressive or how smooth it was. And so one of the things that I noticed right away on the blade gap measurements was the Bayonetta that I felt was a little bit too aggressive is a 0.65 blade gap with a positive exposure. I can't remember the number now, I don't want to butcher it, so I'll go ahead and post it up in the video. Whereas the Syntesi, instead of a 0.65 like the Bayonetta, it was a 0.62, also a positive blade exposure, but a little bit less of a positive blade exposure. And I talked to Silky Smooth on his channel. He's a riot. He makes me crack up. If you've never seen his channel, he's like totally on his whole other wavelength, and I feel sorry for people that take it as face value, but he's clearly an actor acting a role, and anybody that can do that and stay in character that long is super impressive to me. But he was the one that suggested that he really loves this razor, and it's silky smooth, as he says. And it's funny, timing wise, Ohio Shaves just came out with a video, but he compared it to a Rockwell 6 plate, and the Rockwell 6 plate is way too much for me for daily shaves. For me, a Rockwell 4 plate is about as much as I like to play with for daily shaves anyways. So then I was kind of concerned. I'm like, well, I don't really like the Bayonetta. It's a little bit too much. I don't want the Syntesi to be up there because it'll be a useless razor for me that I don't really enjoy. I wanted it to be more on the mild stiletto side of things. So anyways, long story short, obviously I've picked it up, and I thought this would be a great comparison because after shaving with it a few times, I definitely feel like it's more on par with the Styletto. And the user that I talked to, or saw somebody else talking to, was saying that he felt that the Syntesi was definitely more of the Rockwell 3/4 plate, nowhere near the Rockwell 6 plate. So that kind of put my tension at ease with purchasing it, and with information from Silky Smooth. So here we are. So I thought this would be a great comparison because I do feel that these two razors are definitely much more on par and close to each other. And this isn't more so much of a comparison shave as far as which one do I like better per se, but just wanted to show that there's razors that are in that category of super nice to use daily driver razors. And if you don't like aluminum, I know some people don't, this is a stainless steel offering. On that note, they do offer the Syntesi model in aluminum. They also offer it with a blacked out head that's supposed to have a little bit different geometry, and they kind of give you some information about how the different ones shave. For today's soap, I've also got a Goodfellas soap. This is one of my favorites. It's a fantastic gingerbread scent, and it is great for a face lather. And this is kind of one of the first vegan soaps that I had used that kind of changed my mind on vegan soaps and kind of made me want to try more of them because I really liked how easy it was to lather, but it also has really good cushion and really great slickness. It was given to me as a gift from David over at the Inspector's Den channel. And I really love it. It's one of my favorite soaps in my collection. And I figured, what better soap than a Goodfellas soap to go with two Goodfellas razors? For today's brush, this is the AP Shave Co. handle, AP Shave Co. Tuxedo knot, not the G5C, this is just their Tuxedo. It's a 26mm knot. I could shave with that, but let's put a tiny bit of water in just for the heck of it. So yeah, while I was told that the Bayonetta is definitely the most aggressive, offering that they had, I was still quite surprised that it was aggressive as it was after trying the Styletto, because the measurements are not really that crazy on the Bayonetta. For today's blades, I've got the Willys blades that I've kind of been testing. I haven't used them in the Styletto, I have used them in the Syntesi, so we'll see how I like it in this particular pairing. I've been testing these, and do I have the wrapper? Yeah, I do it right there. I've been testing the Willys blades, and I've also been testing these. I've only used these once, so I didn't want to use something I haven't really used enough. I also had a couple of new soaps, some McDuff soaps that I recently got, and some samples from a friend. But I've been having bad luck getting fragrance burn lately from some scents, new soaps. My skin on my lower part of my neck is just susceptible to getting irritation from the essential oils or some of the ingredients. So I didn't want to test a new soap on camera and get irritation, trying to show off how nice these two Daily Driver razors are, and get an irritation during the shave. Yeah, I really like this Styletto. I find it very, very smooth and forgiving, fun, easy to use, easy to find the shaving angle. Awesome lather channels that are really big, it rinses out super easy, super stylish, fancy handle. And one of the things that I noticed is they both have a very slim, low profile head. This is the Syntesi on the right here versus the Styletto, but both of them have a very, very slim profile. So that was one of the reasons why I wasn't super apprehensive, and I thought that it would be smoother than the Bayonetta, because as you can see, they have much different head design. I would consider the Bayonetta more of a conventional, like a DE89 style head shape to it. And I feel that the geometry aspect of a razor is even more important than the gap and exposure measurements. Wow, I will say that the pairing of the Willys blade with this Syntesi is fantastic. That was the first use that I had with it, and it's a really nice pairing. I like the little bit different but unique design of the handle on the Syntesi. It's both stylish as well as functional. It's not insane grip like a knurled handle, but I haven't had any issues with it slipping out of my hand or feeling like it's hard to hold on to. It is a little bit of a shorter handle. I didn't measure it offhand, but those specs are readily available. Very smooth and nice first pass. So here, comparison's sake, it looks like the Syntesi is just a little bit shorter, maybe half of an inch, if that, quarter of an inch. Let's go in for our second pass here against the grain on my neck. Very nice first pass. Both razors are very smooth and forgiving. Both felt very nice around the Adam's apple area. They do feel a little tiny bit different, as far as I find aluminum razors have a different resonance and feel a little bit different. So the stainless steel versus the aluminum feels a tiny bit different there. As I mentioned, they do make the Syntesi in an aluminum version. But since I was on the quest for a stainless steel razor in the den, that's why I chose what I did. Let's jump back to the Syntesi against the grain. One of the things I noticed in the ad for the Syntesi is that they say it's great for shaving armpit or groin. So that also put my mind at ease, that if they were to say that it's good for those particular sensitive areas, that it wouldn't be too aggressive. I talked to Mike at Long Island Shaving, and he said that razor's a tiny bit mild for him, but he also likes and can handle more aggressive razors. It seems like his beard is a little bit coarser and thicker than mine. Very, very, very smooth and nice there on against the grain on my neck. Let's go into the stiletto. Audible feedback is a little bit higher of a note, like I was saying, the way that the aluminum resonates than the stiletto, or sorry, than the Syntesi. Hold on a minute, my dog wants to come in. I'm gonna go let him in. Sorry about that. I let the little dog in there. He wanted to come and say hi. He likes to just sit on the bed. Get some water in that. Smell on this soap is just awesome. Such a great gingerbread scent to it. If you like that smell during the holidays, you would love this one. All right, let me rinse this stiletto off here. Willie's blade is very nice, and the stiletto, very, very smooth. I haven't noticed any nicks or anything from it. I've been trying to find some non-Gillette Russian blades, since as the sweat shavers all know, the St. Petersburg factory in Russia is no longer. I guess they're going to be retooling in China. So we're going to have to wait and see how all those blades are, if they're still to the same standard, if they're truly going to use the same tooling, or if the blades we've come to love are going to be no longer. So I've been trying to find some non-Gillette blades that I enjoy. Very smooth, very nice. Go to the Syntesi side. Very easy to find and stay on angle with both of these razors. Both razors feel very, very similar, to be honest with you. They're very, very nice. Both smooth, easygoing razors. Enough blade feel to not be boring. Definitely autopilot style razors for sure. do our last pass. We'll do against the grain. Stiletto side here. Very nice, super smooth against the grain there. These areas right here on the sides of my lip are a little bit sensitive and very, very nice there as well. Silky, sexy smooth right there on the against the grain under the nose. Very nice. Just gonna clean up under my nose here. Let me just get rinsed up here with some water. Tiny bit of cleanup right there on both sides. Nothing major. All right, let me get rinsed up and I'll be right back and go over these razors. All right, everybody, I'm back. So reviewing both of these, I love them both. You know, honestly, had I picked either one of these as my first DEs starting out in this hobby, I don't know that I would have gone down this rabbit hole of this hobby, and I probably would have just been more than super thrilled with either one of these, and I could have been one of those 1 in 8 trillion people that actually shave money with DE razors and blades. But you know, I'm glad that I found them now, and I have to say that this is definitely the stainless steel razor I've been looking for. Man, it knocks out of the park for me. Just that perfect spot of a Rockwell 3/4 plate, or if you're not a Rockwell 6C or 6S user, other comparisons besides the Styletto, obviously, that I would compare it to would be carved Overlander, carved Bison, or you know, any of those kind of more mild forgiving razors, you know, in that category. I find that it's just that awesome daily driver. And you know, I was talking to Lee Nunez about this, but I personally find these more mild razors give me a better shave than the more medium aggression razors. You know, on my neck here, I can only go with and against the grain. If I go sideways on the lower part of my neck, that gives me irritation. But with these more mild razors, I can easily buff and go over those same areas and not get any irritation. I can get BBS with it. Whereas with the more medium aggression razors, if I, you know, go over the same area more than once, especially against the grain on my neck, they often do irritate my neck. So for me personally, I definitely prefer the more mild razors, but mild with high efficiency. The Game Changer 84, for instance, for whatever reason, is still way too mild for me, and I can't get BBS at all with it. So it just depends on what you prefer. I'm not knocking the Bayonetta, just for me personally, in my particular medium coarseness beard but sensitive neckline, I found the Bayonetta just a tiny bit too much for me. I would say that it's more on par with like a Yates 921H plate, the Mula Roca, the Evo Alpha Evolution. That's more on par with those. Whereas these are more of that perfect Rockwell 3/4 plate setting that I really just enjoy. Super smooth daily driver that I really like. So if that's your speed, the Syntesi is a fantastic razor. Love it. Like I said, had I gotten that from the get-go, it might be the only razor that I had. I really like them both. If you like aluminum, this is awesome. But as I mentioned, they also make the Syntesi in aluminum, and then they make it with an all blacked out head and aluminum that's supposed to have a little bit different geometry to it, but still shave somewhat similar. So there's my take on it. I have to say Goodfellas is really impressing me. I've also tried the open comb and I'm gonna do a video on that, but really great stuff coming out by Goodfellas Smile, really impressive stuff. Well, that's my take on these Guido razors. Guido approved for sure. All right, I hope everybody enjoyed. I'll see you soon.